YouTube, welcome back to my channel. It's Canadian Retro. I've got some pickups here which are a little bit different because I went out of my general area and found some very interesting things down in the United States. I went down to Rochester for a little family trip, and my wife and I and my son went down there. We were going to check out, and one of the main reasons for us going there was to check out the Strong Museum, which I'm going to get into in a second because it is freaking amazing. You have to go check it out. But that being said, when we went down there, we stopped in Niagara Falls. We went, stayed there for a night. Then we went down to Rochester and did the different museums and did a little bit of shopping here and there because we wanted to see if we could find any deals. And I found some good stuff. So let me get into like my pickups part of this, and then I'll show you some footage of the Strong Museum, or well, more so pictures of the Strong Museum. I didn't really walk around with my camera too much. I didn't want to throw people off. A little bit of that, but there's some really cool things there that are definitely right up your alley if you're a retro video game collector. So without further ado though, I'm going to get into my pickups here. So on the way down to Rochester, when we got over the border, basically we stopped in at a couple of places, and right there was a Five Below. So I walked in, went to check it out, and I found these over in the game section, which are a couple of the Joy-Con strap controller type things. So basically these just, these strap on and you can use it as like a controller. Essentially it's the same thing that basically comes with the Nintendo Switch, but they were $5 each. So I thought I'd pick those up. And then we went to another Five Below as we got closer to Rochester and went into the same section, and basically they had very similar things, but they also had two of the blue Joy-Cons, or Joy-Con strap holders. So I went and grabbed those as well, and those were $5 each, so I could not turn that down at all. And at the same time, I just picked up a couple of these. I can't remember what I paid for these, few bucks, I think. They're just like screen protectors for the Switch, just because that's sort of a theme that I'm going to be going with here a little bit. Speaking of Switch things, Nintendo Hodge hooked me up at Too Many Games with a holder basically that he 3D printed that has like the Nintendo Switch on it, and you can put Switch games in it. And when I saw that and put my games into it, I came to a massive realization that I really need to get more on the Switch train here and start playing my Nintendo Switch a little bit more. And I had 3 games already, and I've added 3 more. So the first one here I picked up on the last day, sort of on the way out of town, and that is Sushi Striker. I couldn't turn this down. It was at a GameStop. They wanted $10 for it. I couldn't turn it down. My wife thought it was kind of cute and everything, so she wanted to check it out, and she likes puzzlers and things like that. So this is a puzzle game for that, so $10, why not? It was used, but that's the way it goes. And then this one I believe was, I'm trying to remember if this was Walmart or Target, but it was one of the two, and I picked up SteamWorld Dig 2, and that was $20, so I thought that was a pretty good deal. I mean, those numbers are USD obviously, but I thought that was a pretty good deal because I can't seem to find much in the way of $20 Nintendo Switch games here in Canada, so I thought that was a pretty good deal. And then I also picked up Mega Man 11. Again, that was $20, and I thought that was a killer deal for Mega Man 11. There's a little bit of, it was already kind of not opened, but some of the seal is already broken, but whatever, I'm going to play it, so it's going to get open nonetheless. So I thought those were pretty solid deals there for the Nintendo Switch. That's all the Switch things that I picked up, but I did stop at one of those disgusting Goodwill by the pound or whatever type places. I'm not sure what to call it. They're basically like clearance centers where they roll out massive bins. I wanted to go experience it. I wanted to see it. I've seen other YouTubers go there and go check it out. And I'm pretty glad that I did, because I did find some pretty good stuff here. Not too bad, to say the least. And all these games were $1 each. So I picked up 300 on the PSP, and again, it's complete. And I mean, I didn't even clean this up or anything, so if you think those places are gross, I mean, some of it can be kind of gross, but honestly, these were like clean. They're really in really good shape. And somebody obviously in the Goodwill store did not pick up Liberty City Stories on the PSP, which I've picked up a couple of times now, but at the same time, for $1, I'm definitely gonna grab that. I also picked up Star Wars Starfighter. Don't know how this one holds up necessarily, and I might already have that in my collection, but again, for $1, right? And then this one really was for my son. It's Angry Birds Trilogy. I wanted him to check it out because I don't think he really played that much Angry Birds games, so thought I'd grab that for him. Nothing crazy valued, but at the same time, again, $1. What are you gonna say to that, right? And then the last one here is Dragon Quest Swords. I don't know a whole lot about this one. I hear it's like a really simplified RPG kind of game, but for $1 Square Enix game, it's got to be worth it, right? So pretty good find right there. And like I said, all of those, each game was $1, so pretty cool deal right there. And then on a separate day, we found a bunch of other things too, which aren't necessarily video game related, but you know, like essentially, they're not video game stuff, so I'm not really showing it here. But I mean, it was just killer, like the amount that you had to pay for stuff when they weighed it. It was ridiculous. Like for instance, I put this with, I think it was like a Bulbasaur. I think was the I don't know. It was a maze game, like in a ball. I'm not sure what they're called. I've seen them before, but basically it's just like a maze game and a ball. My son wanted it, and I put it with this, and it ended up costing 36 cents. So this was pretty gross when I found it, but I cleaned it up in the hotel before I even put it near my luggage. But now it's like minty fresh, brand new, almost condition Wii remote. So I basically paid, like what, 15, 17 cents or something like that for a Wii remote. Pretty solid deal. I had to dig to the bottom of a bin to find it, but I was able to do that, no problem. And then again, this isn't really video game related, but it is retro related. So I grabbed this out of a thrift store that we stopped in at, and that was the, what do you call it, a saddle basically for Battle Cat from He-Man. So I have, I believe I have a Battle Cat that is missing this part, so pretty happy to get it. And sometimes you find it and the strap's broken, and this one's like perfect. So I think I paid 45 cents or something like that for this. I think it could be like 52 or something with tax. So definitely worth it all around. And then the last thing, and this was on the second last, this is basically like the day before we were about to leave, or maybe it was the day we were leaving. But anyway, we stopped in at a GameStop, and I was looking for this item and I could not find it. Oh, wait, this is the second last item. When we were at the Strong Museum, I got this, which is behind me, the NES blanket. So it's pretty cool. It's just gonna sit here as like my backdrop, or if I need to have a nap or something on the retro couch, I'll end up doing that. But again, like I was getting into, the last item, I didn't want to forget this. So the last item that I picked up here is something that I was after, but it's always been a little bit overpriced in my area, and I know there have been deals on it, and I just kind of missed out on them. So that's that, and that's the way that goes. But I did end up picking it up because I did find this, and it was, how much was this? Was this 20? I believe this was $29.99. Yeah, so it ended up being like $32 or something US, which I thought was a good deal because I think basically if I tried to go online to buy this, it probably cost me upwards of $50 to $60 even now, even though it like originally retailed for closer to like 90 Canadian. But I finally picked one of these up, and I'm super pumped about it because this is a video game system, a computer system from my past that I basically grew up with alongside my NES, and that is the Commodore 64 Mini. So I had a Commodore 64 back in the day. Well, really, it was my brother's. I had a VIC-20. My brother had a Commodore 64, and I spent more time on that Commodore 64 than I did on my VIC-20. But really cool right there, and I'm already starting to get into, adding games to this. I'm going to be doing that, and I need to update it, obviously, but I'm going to add some games to it, and this is going to be absolutely epic. I'm really going to enjoy that. Hook it up, HDMI, to my modern television. Super pumped about this. I know that, I think in December that they're coming out with the full-size one with like the working keyboard and everything like that to do with this, and I'll probably wait till that one's price drops as well and see what I can do about that. But for now, this will do definitely, because I really want to get back into my C64 days, and I've never really found a good deal on a C64. So really sweet right here. Super pumped about that. Other than that, I'm just going to show you here some of the images from the Strong Museum. I was blown away. I had such a great time there. They had tons of like arcade cabinets, pinball machines. They had just like nostalgic games. They had like huge displays of pretty rare and uncommon games that you really would not see. Some of them you might have in your collections, but there's definitely one title here that I was amazed that they had, and I actually went online or on Twitter and tried to find out if it was like legit, and VG Collectaholic told me it was, but I'm going to show you all that right now. All right, so that was the Strong Museum, and that's in Rochester. It's called the Strong Museum, Museum of Play, I believe, is the name of it. And basically, it is like one of the places like the most tactile. You can go in, you can like touch all the displays and stuff like that. Obviously, you can't touch the stuff in the in the cabinets. Really would like to, but unfortunately, they wouldn't let you do that. But otherwise, like all their arcade cabinets are there. You can touch any of those, you can play them, and it's just a wonderful place. I mean, I really every time I turned around, I saw something interesting new. I really wanted to sit there and like bang away on some of the arcade cabinets and stuff like that for a while, but I didn't really have the time to sit there all afternoon playing video games. I would have loved to. But that's everything I got for you this time around. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do feel free to thumbs up this video, comment down below, and I'll see you all later.